Let us take a journey together, far away from the noise of the modern world, to a place where silence reigns supreme and history lies waiting beneath the waves. Imagine, if you will, a world where great cities once thrived, where people walked streets and built temples, where civilizations rose and fell just as they do today. Now imagine that all of this existed not in some distant mythical realm, but right here on our own planet, now hidden beneath tens of meters of ocean water, preserved in an eerie underwater silence that has lasted for thousands of years. This is the story of the lost cities beneath the sea, cities that science once said could not exist. Close your eyes now, and let your mind drift to a time before recorded history, when the ice sheets were melting and the seas were rising, swallowing coastlines that had been dry land for millennia. The story we are about to explore is not merely a tale of archaeology or geology, but a meditation on the impermanence of human achievement, on the vastness of time, and on the patience of the ocean, which keeps its secrets well. Your mind is free to wander now, following the words like a gentle current, drifting towards sleep. Let this information wash over you like gentle waves, and know that you do not need to remember all of this. Simply let it flow past you, each sentence a soft murmur, each pause a moment of peace. We begin our journey in the ancient city of Dwaraka, off the western coast of India, where Lord Krishna once walked the streets, or so the ancient texts tell us. For centuries, the tale of Dwaraka was dismissed as mythology, a beautiful story with no basis in reality. The text described a magnificent city of gold and jewels, a harbor filled with 10,000 ships, and a population that numbered in the hundreds of thousands. Archaeological surveys of the seafloor in 1988 changed everything. Your thoughts can drift now, free from the need to memorize these details. What the divers found was extraordinary. A vast underwater city, now lying about 75 feet beneath the waves, complete with streets, plazas, and what appeared to be a sophisticated drainage system. The structures were dated to approximately 1500 BCE, roughly the time period described in the Mahabharata, one of India's ancient epic poems. Nothing more needs to be done except to let these images settle into your mind like sediment on a quiet seafloor. Now, let us turn our attention to another remarkable discovery, one that lies much farther from any living shore. In the year 2001, marine geologist Marc-André Gutcher was studying the seafloor off the coast of northwestern France, near the village of Plouharnel in Brittany. He was not looking for a lost city, he was studying the geological formations related to sea level changes during the last ice age. But what he found was something that would challenge his assumptions and, eventually, the assumptions of the entire archaeological world. Gutcher discovered the remains of a vast stone structure, a megalithic complex that extended for nearly a kilometer beneath the waves, now lying about 8 to 16 meters below the surface. The site, now known to researchers, featured massive stone blocks, some weighing several tons, arranged in patterns that suggested deliberate human construction rather than natural geological processes. The architecture bore similarities to the famous megalithic sites on land in Brittany, including the Karnak alignments, suggesting that this underwater site might be the remains of a coastal settlement that was submerged as the ice age ended and the seas rose. Breathe in, breathe out, and let this knowledge settle gently into your awareness. Your mind is free to wander now, perhaps to the Mediterranean, where yet another lost city waits in the deep. The ancient world was full of stories of cities swallowed by the sea. Plato's Atlantis is perhaps the most famous, but there are others that are less well known but equally fascinating. Off the coast of Greece, near the island of Santorini, lies the remnants of a civilization that was destroyed not by rising seas, but by volcanic catastrophe. The Minoan civilization on the island of Crete flourished for centuries, building palaces and cities that were the envy of the ancient world. Then, around 1600 BCE, the volcano Thera erupted with devastating force, sending tsunamis across the Mediterranean and burying the Minoan settlement at Akrotiri under meters of volcanic ash. The ash preserved the city remarkably well, and modern archaeologists have found multi-story buildings, frescoes, and streets that remain largely intact beneath the rubble. It is as if the city simply stopped one day, its inhabitants fleeing, and then was frozen in time for more than 3,500 years. Let your thoughts drift now to the Caribbean, where recent discoveries have challenged our understanding of just how ancient some civilizations might be. In 2019, a team of researchers conducting a LIDAR survey of the Yucatan Peninsula made a startling discovery beneath the dense jungle canopy, a vast network of Maya structures, including pyramids, plazas, and residential complexes that had been hidden for centuries under the tropical vegetation. The survey revealed that the Maya civilization was far more extensive than previously thought, with densely populated urban centers connected by sophisticated road networks. While this particular discovery was on land, it serves as a reminder of how much remains hidden beneath the surfaces of our world, whether jungle canopy or ocean waves. Your mind is free to wander now, thinking of all the secrets that lie beneath. Now, let us return to the sea and to one of its most compelling mysteries. In 1967, a man named Robert Ballard, you may know him as the oceanographer who would later discover the Titanic, was diving in the Mediterranean near the island of Rhodes when he encountered something unexpected. At a depth of about 100 meters, Ballard found what appeared to be a stone wall, stretching across the seafloor for hundreds of meters. Further investigation revealed a complex of structures, including what appeared to be a harbor, a breakwater, and various architectural features consistent with an ancient port city. Ballard estimated that the site was submerged around 3000 BCE, making it one of the oldest known submerged cities in the Mediterranean. He named the site Atlantis, though this was a somewhat informal designation, and the site remains a subject of archaeological debate to this day. What is clear, however, is that a significant human settlement once existed at this location, now silent beneath the waves. Let the details fade into background now, as the gentle rhythm of the words carries you towards sleep. The ocean, it seems, has been swallowing human settlements for as long as humans have built near its shores. Around 20,000 years ago, at the height of the last ice age, the world's oceans contained significantly less water than they do today. Much of the water was locked up in massive ice sheets that covered much of North America, Europe, and Asia. The sea level was then approximately 120 meters lower than it is now, meaning that many coastal areas that are now underwater were then dry land. As the ice age ended and the climate warmed, the ice sheets melted and the seas rose, gradually inundating these ancient coastlines. What was once dry land became seabed, and what was once a bustling harbor became a silent ruin. This process of sea level rise, known as the Flandrian transgression, took place over several thousand years, reaching its current level only around 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. All is well, and we have plenty of time to explore these ideas at our own pace. Now, let us consider what this means for the archaeology of the deep sea. For most of human history, the idea of finding and studying an underwater city was pure fantasy. The technology simply did not exist to allow researchers to spend extended periods of time at depth, conducting careful surveys and excavations. But in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, this began to change. The development of scuba technology, then remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and finally autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, opened up new possibilities for underwater archaeology. Today, researchers can map the seafloor with sonar, photograph ancient ruins with high-resolution cameras, and even recover artifacts using robotic arms. And what they are finding is rewriting our understanding of human history. Consider, for instance, the discovery of a vast Stone Age settlement off the coast of Alabama. In 2019, researchers from the University of Pennsylvania announced that they had found evidence of a settlement that may be as much as 12,000 years old, now lying about 60 feet beneath the Gulf of Mexico. The site, known as Newspapers, shows signs of human occupation including fire pits, stone tools, and what appear to be structural remains. If confirmed, this would be one of the oldest known settlements in North America, and it was only discovered because of the curiosity of a local diver who noticed unusual features on the seafloor. Your mind is free to wander now, free from the need to hold on to these facts. Let us drift now to the Eastern Mediterranean, where a remarkable story has emerged from the depths. In 2023, marine archaeologists announced the discovery of what may be the remains of an ancient port city near the Greek island of Delos, one of the most sacred sites in the ancient Greek world. The underwater survey revealed extensive remains including warehouses, piers, and what appears to be a commercial district, all now lying about 6 meters below the surface. The remains date to the Hellenistic period, around 200 BCE, a time when Delos was one of the busiest ports in the Mediterranean. The discovery is providing new insights into the maritime trade networks of the ancient world, showing how extensive and sophisticated these connections were. You don't need to remember all of this. Let it wash over you like gentle waves. Perhaps one of the most fascinating aspects of underwater archaeology is the way it challenges our assumptions about where ancient cities could have been located. We tend to think of ancient civilizations as being tied to specific geographic features, river valleys, fertile plains, natural harbors. But the sea level changes of the past 20,000 years mean that many ancient coastlines are now underwater, and some of the most significant settlements of the ancient world may lie beneath the waves, unknown and unstudied. Consider, for example, the theory proposed by some researchers that the legendary city of Troy, immortalized in Homer's Iliad, may not be where we have traditionally looked for it. While archaeologists have excavated a site in northwestern Turkey that they believe corresponds to Homer's Troy, some researchers argue that the ancient city may have been located on what was then a coastal plain, now submerged beneath the Aegean Sea. If true, this would mean that the true ruins of Troy lie beneath the waves, waiting for someone to find them. Now, let us turn our attention to a very different kind of underwater discovery. In the waters off the coast of Japan, near the island of Yonaguni, there lies a mysterious structure that has sparked debate among archaeologists for decades. The Yonaguni Monument, as it is known, is a massive rock formation that resembles a stepped pyramid, with what appear to be flat surfaces, sharp angles, and even what might be a road carved into the rock. Some researchers believe that this is a natural formation, the result of geological processes over millions of years. Others argue that it is too regular, too symmetrical to be purely natural, and suggest that it may be the remains of a lost civilization that predates the known Japanese cultures. The debate continues to this day, but the monument serves as a reminder of how much we have yet to learn about our past. Let your thoughts drift now to the southern coast of China, where in 2021 researchers announced the discovery of a submerged ancient city in the South China Sea. The city, which may be up to 3,000 years old, was discovered during a routine seabed survey, and initial investigations suggest that it was a significant urban center with multiple districts, including what appears to be a residential area and a commercial zone. The discovery is still being studied, and researchers are working to determine the exact age of the site and what civilization it might belong to. What is clear, however, is that the South China Sea, long a route for maritime trade, was once home to significant settlements that are now lost beneath the waves. We have been talking about lost cities beneath the sea, but it is worth noting that the ocean has not only taken, it has also preserved. One of the remarkable things about underwater sites is the way they can preserve organic materials that would have long since rotted away on land. Wood, textiles, even food remains, all of these can survive in the anaerobic conditions of the deep sea, where there is little oxygen to support the bacteria that cause decay. This means that underwater sites can provide a wealth of information that would be impossible to find on land. In the ancient harbor of Uluburun, off the coast of Turkey, divers discovered a Bronze Age shipwreck that dates to around 1300 BCE. The wreck was filled with artifacts, including copper ingots, pottery, jewelry, and even the remains of the ship's wooden hull. The discovery provided unprecedented insights into the maritime trade networks of the Bronze Age Mediterranean, showing just how extensive and sophisticated these connections were. Now, as we approach the closing portion of our journey, let us take a moment to reflect on what these discoveries tell us about human history. The traditional narrative of human civilization is one of steady progress, from small hunting and gathering bands to complex agricultural societies to great cities and empires. But the discoveries we have explored today suggest a more complicated picture, one in which civilizations have risen and fallen, been swallowed by the sea, and in some cases been lost entirely. The ocean has kept these secrets for millennia, but now, with our new technologies and our growing understanding of the deep, we are beginning to uncover them. Your mind is free to wander now, and your thoughts can drift toward sleep. Let this information settle into your awareness, like silt drifting down through calm water. You don't need to remember all of these names and dates. They are simply part of the tapestry we have woven together this night. The important thing is not the details, but the feeling, the sense of wonder and mystery that these stories evoke, the understanding that there is so much more to our world than meets the eye, so much more to human history than we have yet to discover. Let your thoughts drift now, following the current of the words toward a quiet shore. Let us imagine for a moment what it would be like to walk through one of these lost cities. Picture yourself descending through the blue-green water, the light growing dimmer as you go deeper, until you see the first outlines of ancient walls emerging from the gloom. You swim closer, and you begin to make out details: the carvings on a stone column, the worn steps of a staircase, the faded remains of what might have been a painted wall. It is silent here, profoundly silent. The only sounds the bubbles from your breath and the distant whisper of the current. This is a city of the dead, but it is not a dead city. The stones still hold the memories of those who built them, who walked these streets, who lived and loved and dreamed, and now, thousands of years later, we have found them, and we can wonder at their achievements. Nothing more needs to be done now. All is well. You are safe and warm and comfortable, and there is nowhere you need to be. Let the words continue to wash over you like gentle waves, each one carrying you closer to sleep. In the waters off the coast of Vietnam, researchers have found evidence of a Stone Age settlement that was submerged by rising sea levels around 6,000 years ago. The site, known as Narration, was once a coastal settlement, but as the sea level rose, it was gradually inundated, eventually coming to rest about 10 meters below the surface. The discovery is significant because it shows that the Vietnamese coast was occupied by sophisticated human communities far earlier than previously thought. The researchers found evidence of sophisticated stone tool manufacturing, as well as remains of the ancient shoreline, including what appear to be tidal ponds that were used for aquaculture. It is a remarkable reminder that human civilization is not a static thing but a living, changing phenomenon, intimately connected to the landscapes and seascapes it inhabits. Let your thoughts drift now to the ancient city of Heraklion, which once stood at the mouth of the Nile River in Egypt. According to ancient texts, Heraklion was a thriving port city, a place of commerce and worship, where ships from across the Mediterranean came to trade. Then, around the 8th century CE, the city sank beneath the waves, disappearing entirely from memory. For centuries, it was lost, its location unknown, its existence doubted by many scholars. Then, in 2000, a team of French archaeologists led by Franck Gaudiot began searching the waters of Aboukir Bay, near Alexandria. What they found exceeded their wildest expectations. There, beneath about 10 meters of water, lay the remains of a vast city, with temples, statues, gold artifacts, and thousands of objects of everyday life. The city had been slowly sinking for centuries, its inhabitants struggling to hold back the sea until finally it was overwhelmed and slipped beneath the waves. It remained there for over 1,000 years, waiting for someone to remember it. Now, as our journey draws to a close, let us turn our thoughts to the future of underwater archaeology. The discoveries we have discussed today represent only a tiny fraction of what lies beneath the waves. The ocean covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface, and most of it remains unexplored and unmapped. With each passing year, new technologies are making it easier to study the deep sea, from advanced sonar systems that can map the seafloor in unprecedented detail to autonomous underwater vehicles that can explore places no human diver could reach. What will we find in the centuries to come? What lost cities and civilizations await discovery in the dark waters of our world? We do not know, but we can wonder, and we can dream. Let this wonder be the last image you carry with you tonight. Think of the ocean, vast and dark and deep, holding its secrets with patience that spans millennia. Think of the civilizations that rose and fell along its shores, building cities and temples and harbors, never imagining that the sea would one day reclaim all they had built. Think of the archaeologists and explorers who are slowly uncovering these lost worlds, bringing their stories back to light. And think of yourself, warm and safe in your bed, drifting toward sleep, carrying with you the knowledge that there is so much more to our world than we will ever know. All is well. Rest now. Sleep well. As we drift toward the end, let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts grow quiet. Let the words fade into the background like the sound of distant waves. You have journeyed far tonight, down into the depths of the ocean and back through the millennia of human history. You have seen cities that sank beneath the waves and civilizations that were lost and found again. And now you can let all of this go. Let it sink back into the depths of your subconscious, where it will rest peacefully until morning. Your mind is free to wander now, drifting on a gentle current, carried by the tide toward a night of deep and restful sleep. Nothing more needs to be done. Nothing more needs to be remembered. All is well. All is safe. Sleep now. Good night and sweet dreams.